स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. Namaskar to all of you. Welcome to the study of Bhagavad Gita. We are in the process of studying the 19th verse. We have completed the 18th verse of the second chapter. Before entering into the proper subject, let us chant two verses from the meditation on Bhagavad Gita. You can all join. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitham Puranamunina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshinim Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. If we remember the last verse, we had made some special English connotations. Atman or God or our true self is neither the experiencer nor the experienced. Now, with that background, we shall now go to study the 19th verse. Now let us give a link from the 18th verse to the 19th verse. How to link it up? Up to the previous verse, there is the description of seers. That is the souls who have realized their reality, who know that their soul, the Atman, is imperishable, which cannot be destroyed. In the next verse, Lord Krishna, to emphasize the same fact, now speaks of those who do not regard the soul as indestructible by a negative inference that they do not know about the soul. Now you got the link from the 18th to the 19th verse. So what is Lord Krishna telling here to Arjuna? Ya enam vetti hantaram yaschainam manyate hatam ubhu tau na vijanito nayam hantina hanyate. Both of them are ignorant. Who are these both who are ignorant? The first one is one who holds that his soul or anybody's soul, the Atman or God, as the slayer or the killer. And the other who considers it as slain, is killed. Why? For the soul, the Atman, neither slays nor is slain. That is this verse, the simple meaning. We shall learn to chant this verse. The 19th verse of the second chapter. Ya enam vetti hantaram Ya enam vetti hantaram Yaschainam manyate hatam Yaschainam manyate hatam Ubhau tau na vijanito Ubhau tau na vijanito Nayam hanti na hanyate Nayam hanti na hanyate. Why are we supposed to chant the verses or mantras or Vedic mantras or Bhagavad Gita mantra or Durga Saptashati, whatever mantras, they are in Sanskrit. Now, Krishna might have uttered them in the verse form, but these are in the mantra form done by the great rishis. So they have been combined, the pronunciation, the sound coming out of that in such a way that they have power. When we chant that, you see, what is chanting or talking? You're talking through the vocal cord. It is your thought which is coming out in the form of chanting. Now, there is one law in psychology, it's called law of association. Pavlov was a Russian scientist. He did that experiment, this law of association. What is that? Now, he used to have his pet dog fed. How? He used to ring a bell. So you know the sound of the bell. Dum. Then he used to feed that dog every day. So now for many, maybe months or years, he did this. What is that? He used to ring the bell and feed the dog. Now this dog now got, that mind of the dog got associated with the ringing of the bell, that is ringing of the bell and food got associated. Now what happened? It became a reflex for the dog. Now he didn't give the food now. He just rang the bell. Immediately the dog started salivating. Because the mind was trained. So this, he termed it as law of association. So likewise, when we chant the mantra, so without thinking, now your thought is coming out in the form of your voice or your writing or typing, or what is that happening? It's your thought which is flowing out in the form of action. So that's why it is called Kaya, Vacha, Manasa. Whatever it comes in the form of your thought is flowing out through the sense organs or your vocal cord or your hands and other things, which will come in the form of action. So thought and actions are related. But now action only is there. You are chanting, you do not know the meaning. First of all, you have not learned the meaning, but you will chant. What is going to happen? That energy in the form of thought, when you chant, it goes back in the reverse direction and it causes that thought. For example, now we do the japa, mantra japa. We turn the beads. We turn the beads after chanting the mantra. So when we tell the mantra, we get the picture of the deity in our mind, in our heart. Then we turn the japamala. We roll it. Then again, like that, we might have done millions and millions and millions for so many years. Suppose now you don't chant the mantra. You just turn the beads. Immediately in your heart, the picture of the God arises. Why? Because of law of association. Likewise, when we chant this mantra, any mantra for that sake, even without knowing the meaning, the effect is it will go in the reverse direction into our mind and releases that energy, that wonderful energy. Then our mind, our body gets purified. That's the reason why we chant Om, we chant all the different mantras, we chant the Hanuman Chalisa. Those saints or the seers, the rishis who have, we cannot tell they have given it out, but they have rediscovered or discovered it. Those energy, those mantras were already there. Only the saints, when they raise their mind to that higher level, they discover it. So already there. So likewise, all these things, the chanting of the mantras, when you chant it, what happens is that in the reverse effect, it goes to your mind, it goes to your body, and it purifies your body and mind. That's the reason we have to chant the mantras. Now, we will go for the meaning. I told you the simple meaning. Both of them are ignorant. Ya enam vetti hantaram means one who thinks that hantaram, I am the killer, or the Atman is the killer. Yaschainam manyate hatam. And the other one is who thinks that the Atman will be killed. So both of them, ubhau means both of them, tau na vijanito, they do not know. What is that? Atman can neither kill or cannot be killed. So they are ignorant of the fact that Atman cannot be destroyed or Atman cannot destroy anything else. That is the simple meaning. Now we will go to the deeper meaning of it. Ya enam vetti hantaram, one who considers the soul, that is the Atman or God, as slayer or the killer. Why is it the killing the body and other thing is used again and again in Bhagavad Gita? Do they like killing and other things? No, because this whole thing is given on the battlefield. And whom is it given to? Arjuna. And why? Because he didn't want to fight the war. So in this language, it is used as killing or can't be killed or destroyed. That term is used. So otherwise, what do we have to get out of it is Atman or God is not the actor. He doesn't act. He doesn't get into this world. He is not touched by anything. He is just there. He is present. Just by his presence, all this creation, everything is happening. He doesn't get involved in any of these things. That is the idea. We will go and try to find out all that things still more. We will understand it better. So, one who considers the soul or the Atman as the killer or the slayer is ignorant, because the soul does not act. But then we see that we are doing so many activities. If the soul that is one which is present in us, is not doing any activity, then we are performing all these things. How is that? How can I explain? But by identifying with the body, with the mind, with the ego, it accepts itself as a doya. Any example? Can you make it more clearer? Yes. You have seen the artisan or the sculptor. As an artisan, however clever he may be, cannot work without tools. Can the sculptor chisel the image without his hammer and that whatever that sharp object which he uses to chisel? No. With his bare hands he cannot act. So he needs the implements. Just like an artisan, however clever he may be, cannot work without tools. Similarly, this Atman, our soul or God, without the body cannot do anything. Therefore, the Lord in the 13th chapter, see we are going to the next 13th chapter, declares that he who sees that all actions are performed by nature, prakriti, nature, alone realizes the self as non-doer. It means that the self is not the doer. In English technical term, you can call it sense of agency, sense of doership. You can remember these terms. These terms are little necessary. What is that? In Sanskrit it is called akarta. Sense of agency, sense of doership. Abhokta, sense of enjoyership. See, these two things are there. What is that? Sense of doership. That is sense of agency. And sense of enjoyership, abhokta. Bhokta means I want to enjoy. Enjoy means it is not only good but also bad. Both we have to undergo, experience it. So, neither the Atman is not the bhokta or the karta. So here, sense of agency, sense of doership does not belong to Atman or God. So the example is given as an artisan, however clever he may be, he cannot work without tools. Similarly, the soul without body or mind or ego cannot do anything. Therefore, the Lord in the 13th chapter declares that he who sees that all the actions are performed by nature, prakriti, alone realizes the self as non-doer. It means that the self is not the doer. But by identifying ourselves with our body, with our mind, with our ego, we assume, or it assumes itself to be the doer of action performed by the body. If a man does not identify himself with the body, he is not at all a doer of any activity. So that is one portion. This person who thinks that the Atman or God is the doer is ignorant. Then what is the second thing which Lord Krishna tells here? Yes, chainam manyate hatam. One who holds that the soul as slain will be killed is also ignorant. How is that? Can you explain? Can you give some examples and make it clear? As the soul is never the slayer. The Atman cannot kill anybody, cannot punish. We have a wrong idea that God is sitting with the scepter. God is sitting with this thing and he will kill us. He's going to punish us. The parents teach us all the time. So, God will never punish you. That you should know. God never punishes. Then what is it punishing us? Your identification with the body causes selfishness and you do some activities. That action of yours in the form of karma comes back to you, and then that is the thing you get into problem. It is your own action or karma which is punishing you or rewarding you. It is not God or it is not your Atman. When you identify with the body, when the mind or the ego, then all the problems starts. As the soul is never the slayer, so it is now never killed. It can never be killed. So you can never be killed. Then what is happening? Why are we so afraid of accidents and killing? It is only the body. Because the soul always remains unaffected and unchanged. Only the perishable and changeable can be slain. How could the imperishable and unchangeable Atman be slain? Ubhau tauna vijanito nayam hantina hanyate. Now, what was the first thing? The person who thinks that the Atman is slaying, is killing, is the one. And second is one who thinks that the Atman will be killed. Suppose a person thinks both of them, then what is he ignorant or is he man of knowledge? Even he is also ignorant. Both of these, who holds the soul as slayer, as he who considered is as slain, are ignorant. A question arises whether he who holds the soul as slayer as well as slain is not ignorant. The answer is that he is also ignorant, because the soul is neither the destroyer nor can it be destroyed. It is always the same, without any change. Therefore, one should not grieve. Even if you come to material science, the basics of science is matter and energy. Can neither be created nor destroyed. Material thing. You cannot create one atom, you cannot destroy one atom. If that is the case, how can the Atman be killed? How can the Atman kill something? If matter, so what is happening? Only energy is changing from one form to another form, that's all. Interconvertibility, you see that in science. So, the soul has been described neither as a slayer nor as slain, because it was the context of war. And why was this war chosen? Many people, rationally oriented people, ask the question, it is somewhat impractical that Bhagavad Gita was given to Arjuna on the battlefield. How, when the people are ready to fight a war, how could Arjuna hear this wonderful knowledge of Gita from Krishna? It's impractical. Some people may claim, but Swami Vivekananda tells that itself proves that Bhagavad Gita is highly practical. How? Can you explain? Swami Vivekananda explains very nicely. Now, think, what is the most active field in this world, in this universe? Just imagine. Is it your office? Is it your house? Is it your kitchen? Is it your any other activity, building, construction? No. The topmost activity you can see is war. War is the place where there will be the maximum activity in this world. And see, majority of the inventions which you see are because of war. Computer, earlier the Germans wanted to count the emanations and all the other things. So abacus was there to count. So they found out the oldest form of computer for war. Everything you see, after it is found to war, then it will come to the civilian use. All the technologies, everything you see is first done to war. Then it comes out here and there. Now, the highest activity you can see is war. If Lord Krishna would give this knowledge of Vedanta or Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, and Arjuna put it into practice on the battlefield, that means you can see that the same knowledge can be put into use or practice in your day-to-day life more easily. If that can be practiced on the battlefield, then that means you can practice it in your kitchen, you can practice in your family, you can practice in the office and be successful. That itself proves it is highly practical. So you got that idea. So now this is bought on the battlefield. That's why the word killing, slain, Atman is not killed and slain is used. But in reality, I told you, it is the sense of agency, doership, and the sense of enjoyership that is to be deduced out of this meaning. The soul has been described neither as the slayer, nor as the slain, or this killing, because it was in the context of war before Arjuna, and Arjuna is a warrior, and he has refused to participate, do his duty. But actually, the soul is free from all actions, not only slaying or anything. No action can touch the Atman or your soul, and no, it is not at, it is free from any modifications. So now, this Shariri, the possessor of the body, neither slays anyone, nor is slain by anyone. It means that it is neither a doer of an action, nor is an action object of action, nor is affected by it anyway. Those who like the body, those who love their body, hold the Shariri as the slayer, as the slain. Those who love their body will think, oh, God has punished us, God has killed us, they will all blame. But it is not so, because how can he slay himself? He cannot slay himself. There is no question of slaying. You cannot kill yourself. You cannot do partiality to your eyes and your nose or something. It is just like that. There is nothing but God, Sarvavyapi. He is everywhere. Then why should he destroy himself, or why should he kill himself, or whatever? That doesn't come at all. So now, another aspect of your true self, the Atman, has been given by Lord Krishna here, and you have to include that into your meditation. You are eternal. When you are meditating about the Atman, yourself, the Lord who is within you, we have seen earlier, your Atman or your soul is eternal. No birth, no death. Your Atman is imperishable. Nobody can destroy it. The Atman is Sarvavyapi. It is everywhere. There is no place you are not present. You are in everybody. You are in everything. So see, this is very helpful for your meditation on your Atman in the formless aspect. You have so many aspects of meditation with form. This is formless aspect of the Atman or the Parabrahman. You feel so much of joy, you see, when you think of it, that you cannot be slain. Then finally, now we have come to know that the Atman doesn't participate in any activity. It is akarta, abhokta. Here, killed and other things, killer has been given only for, because it is a war situation. But you have to deduce it, that it doesn't participate in any action. Now, we shall go to the details of it. There is one more thing. It went to, this Bhagavad Gita went to America and other places, Europe, and even in Arabia. It was translated to Arabic and Persian also. Now, the idea is traveling. And what happened in America? This verse, the 19th verse, has attracted the attention of the American thinker Ralph Waldo Emerson. Emerson has put this verse into a little versified form in one of his essays. So now, what has he put that? How has he converted this verse into a poetry in English? Let me tell you. He tells, if the red slayer thinks he slays, or if the slain thinks he is slain, they know not well the subtle ways I keep, and pass and turn again. So, see, he has put it into poetry in English, American, that Ralph Waldo Emerson. Now, Romarola gives this following note about Swami Vivekananda. In July 1846, Emerson notes that Thoreau had been reading to him the extracts from his A Week on the Concord of Merrimack Rivers. Now this work, section Monday, is an enthusiastic eulogy of Bhagavad Gita and of the great poems and philosophies of India. The emotion produced in Emerson by Indian thought must have been very strong for him to write in 1856 such a deeply Vedantic poem as this beautiful Brahma. If the red slayer thinks he slays, or if the slain thinks he is slain, they know not well the subtle ways I keep and pass and turn again. There are so many other stanzas of the poetry. We shall not go out of our context. We will concentrate on this wonderful verse and get joy out of it. Now, a doubt might arouse in your mind. What is that? Now, we have seen in some movies also, they will take this verse of Krishna. A murderer in the movie will be killing, a villain will be killing somebody, and then he will quote this verse. What is this? Krishna has told, he is killing this person, and he will tell, say, Krishna has told, the Atman is neither the killer, so you are not killed, I am not killing, and he will kill him. So they will misuse this verse of Bhagavad Gita. So that's why we should be very careful. And how can we explain it? One may ask, if nobody can kill anyone, then why is murder considered a punishable offense? The answer is that the body is the vehicle of the soul, Atman. And destroying any living being's vehicle is violence. If somebody steals your car or any other instrument, you go to the police station and that person is punished. Then the vehicle called body is destroyed, then too that is a punishable offense, isn't it? So now the answer is that the body is the vehicle of the soul, and destroying and living any living being's vehicle is violence, which is forbidden. The Vedas clearly instruct Ma him syat sarva bhutani. Do not commit violence towards any living being. In fact, the Vedas even consider killing of animals as a crime. However, here animals means any living being. However, there are occasions where the rules changes and even violence becomes necessary sometimes as a special case. For example, in cases where a snake, poisonous snake, is approaching to bite you or kill you, or white snake, any animal also is coming to attack you or kill you or harm you. So, or if one is attacked with lethal weapons, or one's life sustenance is being snatched away, then our scriptures give permission. Violence is permitted for self-protection. In the present situation, what is appropriate for Arjuna, violence or non-violence, and why? Sri Krishna will explain this to him in great detail as the dialogue of Bhagavad Gita progresses. And in the course of the explanation, priceless divine knowledge will be revealed to shed light on the subject. So, we have come to know you cannot misuse this verse like some people do it. So, we should not misuse it. It has a higher connotation. Now, in the Tulsidas Ramayana, there is one saying. What is that? Jo sapne sira kaatai koi binu jage na durai dukh hoi. Verse 23. The illusion of death is created because we identify ourselves with our body. Ramayana explains this as follows. I told you the quote from Tulsi Ramayana. What is it telling? Suppose if we dream, in our dream, our head is getting cut. Somebody is cutting our head. Then we will perceive its pain until we wake up. In that, until you are in the dream, you will feel the pain. But moment you wake up from the dream, you will not feel the pain. So, if we dream of our head being cut, we will perceive its pain until we wake up. The incident in the dream is an illusion. But the experience of the pain continues to torment until we wake up and dispel the illusion. Similarly, in the illusion that we are the body, mind complex, the ego, we fear the experience of death. For the enlightened soul whose illusion has been dispelled, this fear of death vanishes. So very famous example given in the Vedanta is about this illusion, and the other thing is Rajju Sarpa Nyaya. So the maxim is their Nyaya Shastra. What is this Rajju Sarpa? Rajju means rope. Sarpa means snake. A farmer in olden days is coming back to his house from the farm. So it has become dark, not completely dark. So it is twilight. It is going to get dark. Now, on the way, in the road, he saw a very big poisonous snake lying there. So the moment he saw the snake, he got afraid. It was neither dark, he could see a little. It was neither completely bright. It was semi-darkness and semi-light. So twilight. So what happened? He saw the snake. He got so afraid for his life. Then he changed the route. He went to the other portion, to the bushes, and again came back, ran to the house. He bought a lamp or a torch, bought a big stick to kill that snake. Otherwise somebody else coming might be bitten or it might kill them. So he bought a big stick to kill it, and he bought a torch or a light. Then he came nearby. In the light he saw that was not a snake, it was a rope. Because of the twilight, it looked as if it was a snake, so the fear came up. So all this illusion is because of that. This example is given. So the moment you get the light, you will come to know it is not a snake, it is just a rope. So the next day, he was coming on the same road. He saw the same snake again in the twilight. But this time, the snake could not threaten him. Why? Because he had seen in the light, full light, glaze of the light, that was only a rope looking like a snake. Likewise, when you read this Bhagavad Gita and come to get the knowledge, or when you realize God, when you go near God, when you know what is your true self, after that, all this experience in your life, you will see the murders, this crime, everything. But you have come to know that is only a rope. It is not, it is an illusion. Then you will not be disturbed, or you will not get fear out of it. That's why we are having all this knowledge. Why? What do we gain from this knowledge? The illusion will be removed, and our mind will be clear, and these events in our life or any other thing cannot disturb us. So why are we studying? Why are we getting all this knowledge? Is now clear to you. Now, before going to some of the deeper aspects, some more examples with some beautiful example in our day-to-day life will be more appreciated. And what is that? What is that example given here? Again, we will just chant that verse for remembering that verse. Enam vetti hantaram yaschainam manyate hatam ubhau tau na vijanito nayam hantina hanyate. He who regards this Atman as the slayer, and he who thinks this is the slain, both of them are ignorant. This neither slays nor is slain. Two words, enam and ayam, are used in this verse to mean this. This refers to Atman, our true self, God, the embodied self mentioned in the previous verse. Atman does not slay, nor is it slain. But the ignorant think of Atman as a slayer and slain. This is a quote from one of the Upanishad. It is exactly in toto quoted in which Upanishad? Kathopanishad. So Bhagavad Gita also, you will see many verses from the Upanishad taken as it is. So this is one of the verse. So where is it in Kathopanishad? Chapter 1, section 2, verse 19. Other such quotations appears in the Bhagavad Gita from the Upanishads too. We will see which are there later on, which are considered the primary philosophical literature, that is Upanishad. The role of Atman in a human being is very much like petrol. Arey, what a comparison. Because I told you, we will give the example of our day-to-day life, then it will be more easy for you to understand. The role of Atman in a human being is very much like petrol or diesel in a car or in any vehicle. Petrol provides the energy for the movement in all the vehicle. No vehicle can run without petrol. Yet, petrol has nothing to do with the car's movement. Petrol has no desire to go anywhere. The driver chooses the destination. Petrol does not decide the direction in which the car moves. The driver decides that. Petrol does not determine the power of a car. The engine determines that petrol does. Now, the engine determines that petrol does not influence the nature of the driving. The car may be driven safely or may meet with an accident. Petrol has nothing to do with any of this. It remains totally neutral towards all this. Yet, it is the very soul of the vehicle. Isn't it? Similarly, the Atman or God, the consciousness which is in our body and everywhere outside, is the primal source of all human activities. It is the primal source of all human activities, but it does not participate in any activity. It is the primal source of all activities. Without Atman, there can be no action. Yet, Atman has no desire for any action. It has nothing to do with the direction or quality of actions, nor is it affected by the actions. Atman neither acts, nor it can be acted upon. So, neither the slayer nor the slain is, you have to deduce it to, Atman neither acts, nor can it be acted upon. It neither slays, nor can it be slain. The verse states this fundamental truth to clear Arjuna's misconception and relieve him of his grief. Now, I will give you an example. What is that example? There was one dog, a pet. The owner loved it very much. He allowed this pet dog to come to all the rooms in his house, all the places, except two. What was that? The shrine. And another place is the drawing room of the owner. The dog thought, my owner loves me very much. I am allowed even to go to the kitchen. But why is my owner not allowing me to go to his drawing room? Okay, I can understand I am not allowed to go to the shrine. I don't have any business there. But why am I not allowed to go to the drawing room of the owner? So it was trying very hard. Many days it tried to enter. Somehow each time the owner used to lock that room up. It was a very big palatial building, a rich man. Suddenly he got a phone that his mother is sick. So he had to rush. In the melee, he forgot to lock the drawing room. He ran. While on the way, going to the meeting there, he found out mother is now safe, put to the hospital. Now when his mind was cool, he thought of, my God, I have left my drawing room there open, and the dog will have entered it, and the dog will have died. Now, you may be surprised, why should the dog die if it enters the room, the drawing room? Yes, let us go to the house and see what happened. So when we open the door, what is there in the drawing room? He had decorated the drawing room, that big hall which he had, with lot of mirrors. The whole of the drawing room had mirrors everywhere. And the moment you enter, you will have multiple reflections. So he had decorated it. Many people have different hobbies. Many people have different, abhiruchi or taste. So this person had decorated with mirrors everywhere in that room. Now, this dog entered that room. What happened? Hundreds of dogs entered that room. Then this dog got angry. How can these dogs come to my house? I'm the owner of this house, it thought. And how can these dogs come to my house? Now, what will the dog do when it sees another dog? You just try your pet, keep a mirror and see. Very rarely dog will play with that. It will start growling. Growling, showing its teeth that I'm going to attack you. So what happened? All the 100 dogs growled at it. It got angry. You fellows, you have come to my house and threatening me. He got angry. This dog jumped upon one dog. What happened? To fight with it, all the 100 dogs jumped upon it. It fought and fought and fought and fought and fought, and finally it died out of exhaustion. So after seeing the dead dog, the owner looked at it and told, if this dog knew how to say hello, then all the 100 dogs would have told hello. If this dog knew how to smile, then all the 100 dogs would have smiled at it. But it knew only growling and jumping and fighting. So that's the same thing with our life. It is the Atman, the Lord, who is present in every living being. We growl, we find faults, we are jealous, we are angry with other people. So you reflect yourself in this world. This whole world is a mirror, and it is reflecting you. You stand in front of the mirror, and if you complain, the mirror is not reflecting me properly, I am very more beautiful, but it is reflecting me ugly. No, it's not the mirror's mistake, it's your mistake. The mirror will reflect you as you are. So, if the dog knew how to smile, all the 100 dogs would smile. So, if you serve, if you smile, if you tell good words, if you serve, then all the people will give it back to you. It's your own Atman. Nothing except that. So now, with this thing, you can clear with this knowledge that the Atman exists in every living being and everywhere. It is your identification with the body. And seeing instead of the Atman, the same Atman which is in that animal, we are fighting, we are jealous, and we compete and try to harm them, then it comes back to you. It is not the Atman. So if you know how to smile, if you know how to serve, if you know to shake hand, then all the 100, all the people will do the same thing to you. That's what we need. See this knowledge of oneness of the Atman, seeing the Atman everywhere, the true self of yours, all this, it helps you so much to improve your relationship in the world. That's why I told this is intensely practical. It's not impractical thing which you are learning. Everything, as you go on meditating and get that knowledge of your true self, then in the world your behavior with everybody will change. This world which is now looking at you like a world full of crime and other things will gradually change. And you will see it is a mirth of merriment. It is a blissful world you will come to know. Why? Because you are changing inside. Since you are changing inside, the whole world is changing outside. As your eyes, you are clearing the glass on your eyes, then the visibility of the world is now changing. So that's why all the study of this will help us a lot. Now, we will study this very verse from a different angle, because we have to go deeper and deeper. So when you are taking a stump and putting it into the ground, if you just hit it in the same direction, it will be, you have to use too much of energy. So what do? They turn it into different direction, hit it like this, hit it like this, hit it like this, then they will hit it so it goes. So from different angle when we study, we can understand the same truth and enjoy it much more. So we will study the same thing from another perspective. Now, ya enam vetti hantaram yaschainam manyate hatam ubhau tau na vijanito nayam hanti na hanyate. The one who considers this self is yourself, your Atman, to be a killer. And the one who considers this self to be killed, yourself to be killed, both of them do not know the truth. What is that? This self does not kill, nor is it killed. That is the meaning. This is another important verse in the Bhagavad Gita. Here, Atma, that is our true nature, is further described. And here Lord Krishna says, Atma is akarta. Karta means doya. What is that? Sense of agency, sense of doership. And Atma is abhokta. What is abhokta? Sense of enjoyership. So killed means I enjoy the pain. Enjoy means it is not happiness. You are not enjoying this thing. But you are feeling, you are experiencing the pain that my body is killed, or pain is there, it is cut and all the other things. So it is neither the enjoyer nor the doer. That is the thing. Atma is akarta, does not do any action. It's not an actor, not the subject of an action. Abhokta means Atma is not an object of any action. It is not the subject, it is not the object of any action. It does not get involved in any action, does not take part, not a participant. Now, can you give another example? Yes, you gave one example, or so many examples there. Can you give us another example? Yes, again, we'll come back to that old example, space, akasha. The space has accommodated all of us. Without space, we cannot sit here. But space is not involved in any of our actions. Space is not the teacher. Akasha is not the teacher. Space or Akasha is not the student. Space is not any instrument, also like pen or book. It never participates in any action. But without space, without Akasha, no action is possible here. Akashavat. Or you can take another example. What is that? Light. Prakashavat. Like the light. Yeah, sunlight. In the sunlight, so many transactions are going on in this world. Or whether it is the light, your electricity light also. Any light. So many transactions are taking place. We are sitting here, hearing the Bhagavad Gita, reading, writing, and all the other things. So many transactions. So a person might be selling some product outside in the light. And there is a buyer, there is a seller, there is a money transaction going on. All the transaction takes place in the light. But light itself is not a participant in any of these transactions. It is neither the seller nor the buyer, nor the bought material, nor the money. Can you say, after all, the light is not a participant? Remove the light and see whether any transaction takes place. Make it dark, completely dark, remove the light. If you remove the light, transaction cannot take place. So therefore, like space, like the light, Atma, our true nature, the consciousness presence is required for all transactions. But Atman, or a true nature itself, is not involved in any transaction. And any other example which you like, what is that? Cinema, movie. You go to the cinema hall, movie hall. Okay? Then what do you do there in the cinema? You will go there, take the popcorn or some other eatable, sit there with your friends. Then everything, there will be light, and suddenly the light goes off, and then the projector is on. Then you know that you will, now you can imagine. If you take a cinema screen, on the screen, all the cinema transactions take place. The hero comes, the villain comes, the heroine comes, there will be fighting scene and so many music, dance, all transaction goes on. Now, is the screen there, the white screen, participating in any of the transaction? It's not a participant in the picture. But since the screen is not a participant, why can't we remove the screen and see the movie? Cannot. Without the screen, you cannot see all the transaction at all. So, why can't we remove the screen? If the screen is removed, no picture or movie can go on. Similarly, the Atman, our true self, is uninvolved, akarta and abhokta. And this idea, Lord Krishna presents to us in different language, in a roundabout way. If you tell something straight, see, Sunday there was this yoga camp. And after all the meditation, the sing yoga and the talk and stotra chanting, we took them to show the garden. In that we were showing them different plants, some of the Ayurvedic plants which had so many medicinal effects. So while we were taking, I told Teddy Governor, who was the horticulturist, do not tell the name of the plant. Just take them and ask them to identify. If you tell this is the plant, this is the name of the plant, this is the use of the plant, they will just hear through this ear and give it up here in this ear. So make it a little more difficult. Let them scratch their brains. So I told, see, you are now standing in front of this plant or a tree. Now identify what is this. They started telling so many names, that and this, no. Then finally, told, I will give you a hint. Come on, tell. Then I gave the hint. Then they tried nearer, and finally I gave it up and they told the use. Now they will never forget it in their life. If you had just told this is the name of the tree and this is the use of the tree, it is very nice, soothing here, and then put out to this here. Now this, because of from different angle and in a reverse way, that way, they will never forget, associate, now they will never forget it. So likewise, here too, Lord Krishna is telling the same truth. Now, in a very special, he presents it in a different language, in a roundabout way. Krishna wants to say, this Atman or your true nature or your consciousness, the Atman is akarta, means Atman does not do any job, any transaction. But without it, no transaction, no job, nothing can happen. This world cannot exist. Any job means, what is it? It does not kill anyone because Arjuna is a warrior. And again, Atman is not a bhokta. Atman cannot be killed by anyone. I think recently there was a Ratha Yatra. Have you seen the Ratha Yatra? Have you seen the image, the Jagannatha image in the temple? It will be a wooden log. There will be big two eyes, black eyes. They will keep that image in the chariot, and the chariot will be going again. They will take it to the temple. All that you have seen, if you have not seen it, go and Google it and see. Two big eyes. They tell God doesn't take in any transaction, he doesn't sleep. He will be always awake. God is always awake. God doesn't sleep because he has to take care of all these transactions. Without him, nothing. Suppose he sleeps, then all this world will vanish. So he has to be always awake. And what is the proof? See, Jagannatha doesn't have eyelids at all. If he has eyelids only, he can close. If he doesn't have an eyelid, how can he close his eyes? So he is always awake. And you should note that in Puri Jagannatha temple, in the night also you can go and have the vision there that this thing will not be closed. Only 2 hours he will be given this thing for taking some food or something, at that time they close the temple. Otherwise, you can have the thing of the Lord all the time. Because Lord is awake. All the time. Without him, this world cannot function. So, if we are to be awake, our Atman is always watching. See, just feel it. It is the witness, eternal witness. If you know that the Atman is watching you all the time, can you do any wrong thing? Can you think any wrong thing? Can you hurt anybody? Because the Atman of God is watching you. When you come to the temple, do you get any bad thoughts? Do you do any wrong thing coming to the temple? Why? Because you feel that God is watching you here. The moment you go out to the transaction, to other thing, you are the normal self, again you will do all the wrong things wrong. Why? Because you feel that nobody is watching you. But if you feel Atman is always awake and watching you, it is the eternal witness which is within you. Can you do anything wrong? Can you think anything wrong? Is it not so useful for you? for your daily transaction, then every work of yours will be joyful with joy. Every action of yours will be with the witness of God. Then it becomes divine, it becomes worship. See how useful these verses are. So now the Lord is presenting it in a different language. He says, suppose a person, he says Atman is killed and Atman is a killer and the Atman is killed, that person is an ignorant person. That means if a person says Atman is killed or killer or the killed, that person is wrong. Atman is neither a killer nor the killed. That's what he says here. Yahavetti Hanta. Suppose a person thinks Atman is killer, suppose a person thinks Atman is killed. So it is Karta. Yaschainam Manyate Hatam. Suppose a person thinks either of the two is an ignorant person. Both of them are wrong. Then what is the right thing? Or we explained just now. So when he gives that in a different language, Ubhautamna Vijanito, Vijanitaha. Both the people do not know the fact. Both of them are wrong. So both of them are wrong. Then what is the correct thing? He says, Nayam Hanti. Correct idea is that I am Atma Nahanti. Atma does not kill anyone. In fact, does not kill is not the word. Cannot kill anyone. The Lord cannot punish, cannot kill anyone. If somebody tells you that Lord is punishing me, is destroying me, I am afraid of God, please, that's the last word you put there. He cannot kill you. He cannot hurt you. It is our karma which is hurting us, which is our bad deeds that is hurting us. God, so see how happy you will feel now. God is always merciful. He cannot kill you, He cannot destroy you. Only His presence will lift you up. He will give you only joy. So never teach your children just to escape something. If you do this, God will punish you. Don't do that. You are giving the wrong idea to the children. So God will never kill you. God cannot kill you. God cannot punish you. Never. So this is to be kept in your edge in your mind. That God is not punishing you. That God is not killing you. Don't be afraid of God. Never teach fear of God to anyone. Or you should also not be afraid of God, because it's your true self, it is your own self. That there is a question of being afraid of God. So, what about now? Can, in fact, does not kill is not the word, cannot kill anyone. Can space, Akasha or space destroy anyone? Have you heard that space has destroyed anybody? No. But Vayu? What about air? Out of the Panchabhutas, you know, this whole universe is created out of 5 elements, basic elements. What are they? Akasha, Vayu, that is the air. Vayu, Agni, fire. Then fire, after fire, what comes is Agni, Apaha, water. Then after water, Prithvi. So these are the 5 elements. What are they? Akasha, ether, Vayu, air, then Agni, that is fire, then water, then the earth. Now, all the other things, Vayu, because of air, cyclone and big, this thing, tornado, recently, people can be killed. Suppose you would get a poisonous air, if you breathe it, you are killed. There is a funny saying recently. What is that? Be careful of oxygen. It is a slow poison. How is that? After 100 years, it will kill you. If you take it, breathe it for 100 years, it's going to kill you. It's a humorous saying. Let us not worry about it. Now, the air can kill you. Why? And what about the next thing? Agni. Definitely it will kill you. Fire can burn us. So, you know that. Fire can burn. Then what about the next one? Agni, Apaha. Then Apaha, Prithvi. So, what is Apa? Water. You can drown in the water and get killed. Water comes now, the water of the ocean, if it comes here, you can be killed, you can drown in the water. Finally, what is this thing is Prithvi, earth. Out of earth, you can, if there is an earthquake, you will die. And how is the steel or some other things made out of? From the earth. Iron is extracted, then they make the sword. So the sword can cut your body and kill you. Now, all this element can kill you, destroy your body. Can Akasha, ether, kill you? In the newspaper or in the TV, have you heard any time Akasha falling on your head and then people dying? Space falling on the head of somebody and they was killed. Did you hear any time? If you see that, the space which is higher than all these things, but lower than the Atman, cannot kill you, cannot destroy you. How can your Atman, which is beyond this, kill you? God can touch you. See, so many beautiful examples you can enjoy it, because you will have not thought in this line at all. So, here, Panchabhutas, Vayu can destroy, Agni can destroy, Jala can destroy, even earth can destroy you by earthquake. But if there is one element which cannot destroy anyone or anything, that is space, Akasha. Similarly, Atman or your true self or God accommodates all. It accommodates all, but does not and cannot destroy anyone or anybody. So, I am, that means the Atma, the consciousness within you, that is yourself, Nahanti does not kill, Nahanyate is not killed also. And this has got a lot of significance, which Lord Krishna will bring out throughout the Bhagavad Gita. This is a very crucial verse. In fact, many important ideas of Bhagavad Gita are based on this one verse. And one of the important derivation is that if Atman or consciousness of God is akarta, that is, it does not participate in any action, it is free from all karmas. Now, have you noticed in the Bhagavad Gita, when Duryodhana and Pandavas were going to different kings so that they should come to their party to fight in that battle, Duryodhana also went even before Arjuna to Lord Krishna to fight. He should come to their side to fight. Then he was there when Krishna was taking rest. Duryodhana, the villain, went and sat on the bed near the head of Krishna. And Arjuna came late. And where did he sit? He sat at the feet of Krishna. Now, out of humility, Duryodhana, out of ego, he went and sat on the bed near the head. And Arjuna, out of humility, to show that respect to the Lord, he went and sat at the feet of the Lord. And what happened? When you wake up, what do you see first? Can you see in your head? You see at the feet. That's why you should be at the feet of the Lord always. You should not come into the direct contact of the Lord. Now the Lord opened his eyes and saw Arjuna sitting there at the feet. Well, Arjuna, why have you come? What is the matter? Duryodhana, no, I have come first. You should ask me first. Okay, what do you want? Why have you come here? You should join us for war. You should come and go apart. So I have come first, so you have to come to the sixth side. And Krishna told us, I will give you two choices. What is that? The whole of the Narayana Sena, all the Yadavas, all the chieftains, all the army, very strong army, which could be defeated, is one side. And another side is me, Lord Krishna. I will not take up any weapon, I will not participate in the war. So which do you want? Whom do you want? The army or the Krishna will not participate in the war? Then Duryodhana, what shall I do with this Krishna who will not participate in the war? So I don't want you to take the army, he took the strong army. And Krishna he told, I will never take up any weapon or participate in the war. But he was the charioteer of Arjuna. Just being the charioteer, he guided the whole war. And the war, you know the result, what was the result? The Lord never participated in the war, but guided Arjuna to victory. So you can See, you have an example in the Mahabharata itself, the Lord who is giving this Bhagavad Gita itself, he was an akarta. He never participated in the war, he never lifted any weapon. He never killed anybody in the war. Nor he was slain. Nobody could kill the Lord there. He made Arjuna. He guided Arjuna. The presence of the Lord itself made Arjuna to get victory. That's the thing. If you have the presence of the Lord, if you are aware of the Lord within you, then need not be that God will come and participate in you, make you win in this world. You will not get any suffering. So, see, the higher truth you can bring, make it practical in your day-to-day life so nicely. So finally, with some of the thing, we will end for today because we will take up the same thing and expand on that even further in the next class. So what is that we have to learn here? Akarta or is not participating means, what is the next situation? So the Atma or you are free from all karma. What is that karma? All actions what we do as a result, what is that? One is the bad result and another is a good result. If you do bad things, you get bad karma. What is that called? Papa, sin. If you do good things, you get good result. What is that called as? Punya. So now, since you are Atma, your true self, doesn't participate in any action or any karma, where is the question of Papa and Punya? So neither Papa, sin, nor Punya can touch Atma, your true self. So, we are not touched by karma. If it is free from all karmas, there is no punya, there is no papa. There is no sin, there is no merit. There is no sanchita karma, there is no agami karma, there is no prarabdha karma. All these are not there for the Atman, your true self. If all the karmas are not there, there is no question of rebirth, punarjanma. Death, there is no question of death, there is no question of pain, there is no punarjanma. So that's why Atman never takes punarjanma. That's the reason why we sannyasis don't celebrate birthday. Why? So we are the Atman, we identify with the Lord. Always try to identify with the Lord. So we have no karma, we don't have punarjanma. There is no janma, there is no birth. Where is the birth then? So Atma never takes punarjanma, there is no rebirth. Why does it not take punarjanma? It can take punarjanma only if it dies. If it don't die at all, then there is a question of rebirth again. So there is a question of rebirth. Since Atman does not die, it does not have a janma, it does not have karma. It is free from all papa and punya. Then what about, why are we talking about all the rituals, puja and other things we have to do, the priest, the shraddha, the funerals, the tarpana? Why are we to do all of them? They are all meant for sharira, body, sukshma sharira. They are all meant for only sukshma sharira, which alone travels from one place to place. Sukshma sharira requires karma. After giving up this gross body, the sukshma sharira, because of its karma, has to go from one place to another place. Maybe Naraka, there is a hell, or the heaven, or some other loka, again rebirth to the animal kingdom, whatever. It is only the subtle body, not the Atman. Sukshma sharira, the subtle body requires karma, rituals, funerals. Sukshma sharira has got punarjanma. Therefore, from that standpoint alone, all these funerals, shraddha, the puja, all the tintarpana, that is why for a gnani, a realized soul, there is no shraddha. We, after, as sannyasis after death, we don't have any rituals. There is no rituals at all. Why? That's why for a gnani there is no shraddha, no tarpana. In case of ignorant person, only the sukshma sharira travels. Therefore, we have to do all these rituals. In the case of a gnani, there is no shraddha, there is no birth, there is no rituals, there is no tarpana. You only have a samaradhana day. With that, we just remember that Mahatma, that person who has given up the body in Samadhi to get his blessing or to know about his great deeds. There is no connection for that Atma. They are all corollary. Krishna himself will tell later. See, there's just one verse. It looks as if something confusion, but it has so much of value and so much of pragmatism, so much of practical thing in our day-to-day life. We can put that into use. If we follow this beautiful quality which we have got, that Atma doesn't participate in any of the action which is happening in this world, is untouched. No sin, nothing. That you are that. If you identify with that Atma, and it's always the witness, so it's so beautiful for meditation. Not only meditation with eyes closed, but also for the meditation with eyes open. That is our day-to-day transaction. You can transform into meditation if you keep the Lord as the witness always who is there. So, these words, we will end our conversation. At the same verse we will discuss, continue to discuss. Now, we will close our class by chanting one of the meditation verses of Bhagavad Gita. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripatamaham vande paramanandamadhavam. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ram